Announcer bot is active. Wanderer from Germany in Andretti hairpin is first. CJ is third on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is fifth on softs. Alfie from Italy in turn 5 is P4 on mediums. Wanderer from Germany in turn 5 is first on softs. Best lap is a 2:06.987. Tracer in the corkscrew is third on mediums. Best lap is a 2:19.942. Wanderer in Andretti hairpin is second. Best lap is a 1:27.902. Alfie is third. Best lap is a 2:14.051. "25 minutes remaining in the session. Tracer is P1. Best lap is a 1:26.878. Alfie from Italy is P3. Grazie ragazzi from Norway in the corkscrew is P6 on softs. Tracer in rainy curve is P1. Best lap is a 1:25.857. VR Megu from Sweden in turn 11 is 6th on softs. Ang Force from Sweden in turn 5 is P7 on softs. Tracer is P2. VR Megu is 6th. CJ in the corkscrew is 5th. Best lap is a 2:15.235. VR Megu in the corkscrew is 2nd. Best lap is a 1:25.279. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Thomas from Scotland in Andretti hairpin is 9th on softs. Alfie is P2 on mediums. Best lap is a 1:24.718. V Armagu in rainy curve is P1. Best lap is a 124.579. CJ in turn 5 is P4 on softs. Best lap is a 126.699. Tracer is third. Force from Sweden is 7th. Best lap is a 7:44.383. V Armagu from Sweden in Andretti hairpin is second. CJ is fourth. Best lap is a 126.574. Alfie in turn 3 is first. Best lap is a 123.798. Force in turn 6 is 7th. Wanderer is third. Best lap is a 125.818. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Alfie in Andretti hairpin is P1. Thomas is P7. Best lap is a 3:15.436. CJ in Andretti hairpin is 5th. Tracer in turn 11 is P4. Ang Force is 7th. Best lap is a 1:27.466. B. Armagu in Rahal Straight is 3rd. Best lap is a 1:24.174. CJ is P6. Eddie G from United States in turn 3 is P8. Best lap is a 1:27.993. Alfie is P1. Best lap is a 1:22.997. CJ in turn 6 is P7. Best lap is a 1:26.258. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Petrol head is P12 on hards. Tippy Boss in turn 4 is P11 on softs. Rob Keane from Wales is second on softs. Best lap is a 1:22.676. Thomas is sixth. Best lap is a 1:24.889. Grazie ragazzi in turn 4 is P11. Best lap is a 20:36.209. Rob Keane in Andretti hairpin is second. Best lap is a 1:22.410. Armagu in turn 6 is third. Best lap is a 1:23.110. Marcin N is P14 on softs. Eddie G is P12. Best lap is a 1:25.791. Ang Force in turn 5 is P8. Best lap is a 1:24.475. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Marcin N in Andretti hairpin is P14. Best lap is a 14:51.779. Ang Force is P8. Wanderer in rainy curve is P11 on softs. Best lap is a 1:25.630. Marcin N is P9. Best lap is a 1:24.499. Stephen Handley in turn 6 is P3. Best lap is a 1:23.014. Ang Force is P8. Grazie Ragazzi is 6th. Alfie is 2nd. Best lap is a 1:21.937. Rob Keenan Andretti hairpin is P1. Best lap is a 1:21.734. Grazie Ragazzi is P6. Stephen Handley in turn 4 is 3rd. Alfie is 2nd. Stephen Handley is third. Best lap is a 1:22.713. The qualification session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 4 km/h from the west. CJ is P2. Rob Keane from Wales in turn 5 is P1 on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom in Rahal Straight is 8th on softs. Rob Keane is 14th. Rob Keane is up 8.24 in turn 4. Rob Keane is up 8.84 in Rahal Straight. Rob Keane is up 9.19 in turn 10. Rob Keane improved his first with a 121.685. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P3 on softs. Grazie Ragazzi improved his second with a 123.364. 1.679 off pole. Stephen Handley is 13th. Rob Keane is first up 0.32. Rob Keane is up 0.55 in the corkscrew. Alfie from Italy in Rainy Curve is 5th up 1.16 on softs. Alfie improved his P2 with a 122.018. 0.333 off pole. Tippy Boss is P7 on softs. Tippy Boss improved his P7 with a 123.714. 2.029 off pole. Ang Force from Sweden is P6 on softs. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Ang force improved is P6 with a 123.424. 1.739 off pole. CJ in the corkscrew is P14 up 10.92. CJ improved is 14th with a 125.395. 3.710 off pole. Alfie is P2 on softs. Alfie improved is P2 with a 121.852. 0.167 off pole. Wanderer from Germany is 10th on softs. Wanderer improved is P8 with a 123.692. 2.007 off pole. CJ is 14th up 0.40 on softs. Rob Keane in turn 11 is first. Rob Keane is provisional pole with a 121.515. CJ is 14th. CJ improved is P11 with a 124.366. 2.851 off pole. Marcin N in turn 11 is 10th on softs. Marcin N improved is 10th with a 123.755. 2.240 off pole. V. Armagu from Sweden is 5th on softs. V. Armagu improved is P4 with a 122.788. 1.273 off pole. Tracer is P7 up 0.19 on softs. Best lap is a 123.508. 1.993 off pole. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 6 is 5th up 0.11. Rob Keane in turn 10 is P1 up 0.14. Rob Keane is provisional pole with a 121.461. V. Armagu in Rahal Straight is P4 up 0.29. Stephen Handley in the corkscrew is 3rd up 0.37. V. Armagu is P4. V. Armagu improved is P4 with a 122.647. 1.186 off pole. Stephen Handley is P3 on softs. Stephen Handley improved is P3 with a 121.950. 0.489 off pole. Tracer is 7th up 0.21. Tracer is up 0.11 in the corkscrew. Thomas from Scotland in turn 5 is P12 up 0.23 on softs. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Thomas is up 0.53 in rainy curve. Thomas improved is P11 with a 123.915. 2.454 off pole. Marcin N in turn 10 is 10th. Eddie G from United States in turn 11 is 14th on mediums. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 3 km/h from the west-northwest. Rob Keane is first. Alfie from Italy is second on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is P3 on mediums. VR Magu from Sweden is fourth on softs. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P5 on softs. Ang Force from Sweden is sixth on mediums. Tracer is seventh on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is P8 on mediums. Tippy Boss is ninth on softs. Marcin N is 10th on mediums. Thomas from Scotland is 11th on mediums. CJ is P12 on mediums. Petrolhead is P13 on mediums. Eddie G from United States is 14th on softs. Rob Keane from Wales is P1 on softs. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Alfie in Andretti hairpin is second on mediums. Tracer is fourth. VR Magu in turn 5 is P2. Tippy Boss in Rahal straight is third. Tippy Boss passed VR Magu for second. Tippy Boss is now first. VR Magu in turn 10 is second. VR Magu is now P1. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 4 km/h from the west. Alfie is P1. Rob Keane from Wales is P2 on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is third on mediums. VR Magu from Sweden is fourth on softs. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is fifth on softs. Ang Force from Sweden is sixth on softs. Tracer is P7 on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is eighth on mediums. Tippy Boss is ninth on softs. Marcin N is 10th on softs. Thomas from Scotland is 11th on mediums. CJ is 12th on mediums. Alfie from Italy is P1 on mediums. Rob Keane is P2. Stephen Handley is third. V. Armagu is 4th. Grazie ragazzi is P5. Ang Force is 6th. Tracer is 7th. Marcin N entering the pits is P18. 30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Alfie is first. V. Armagu in Andretti hairpin is third. Eddie G entering the pits is P10. Grazie ragazzi is P4. Tippy Boss entering the pits is 12. V. Armagu in turn 5 is P3. CJ entering the pits is P10. Thomas is P6. Thomas is now P5. Alfie is second. Petrolhead entering the pits is fourth. Thomas is P5. Thomas passed Petrolhead for fourth. Rob Keane is third, 0.1 ahead of Thomas. CJ exiting pits on mediums. V. Armagu is P1. Alfie is second, 4.9 ahead of Rob Keane. Alfie lost P2 to Rob Keane. CJ entering the pits is P9. V. Armagu in turn 6 is first. Eddie G exiting pits on softs. Thomas is P4. Rob Keane in turn 11 is P2. Alfie entering the pits is P3. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Ang Force entering the pits is 10th. Tracer in Rainy Curve is 6th. Tracer lost P6 to Eddie G. Alfie is 3rd. Eddie G from United States is 6th on softs. Eddie G passed Petrolhead for 5th. CJ is 9th. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 14 km/h from the west. Rob Keane is 1st. Alfie from Italy is P2 on mediums. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is P3 on mediums. Armegu from Sweden is P4 on softs. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P5 on softs. Ang Force from Sweden is 6th on softs. Tracer is P7 on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is 8th on mediums. Tippy Boss is P9 on softs. Marcin N is P10 on mediums. Thomas from Scotland is P11 on mediums. CJ is P12 on mediums. Petrolhead is 13th on mediums. Eddie G from United States is P14 on softs. Rob Keane from Wales is 1st on softs. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Alfie in Andretti hairpin is P2. Stephen Handley is P3. Tracer in turn 5 is P6. Wanderer in Rahal Straight is P7. Tippy Boss entering the pits is P1. Wanderer is now 7th. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 9 km/h from the west. Rob Keane is P1. Alfie from Italy is P2 on mediums. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is P3 on mediums. V. Armegu from Sweden is 4th on softs. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is 5th on softs. Angfors from Sweden is P6 on softs. Tracer is P7 on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is 8th on mediums. Tippy Boss is 9th on softs. Marcin N is 10th on softs. Thomas from Scotland is P11 on mediums. CJ is 12th on mediums. Petrolhead is P13 on mediums. Eddie G from United States is P14 on softs. Rob Keane from Wales is 1st on softs. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Alfie in Andretti hairpin is P2. Marcin N is P9. CJ in turn 4 is P9. Petrolhead in turn 5 is P11. Thomas in Rahal Straight is P12. Wanderer is 13th. Stephen Handley is P5, 0.4 behind Eddie G. Petrolhead in Andretti hairpin is 12th, 0.1 behind Thomas. Petrolhead passed Thomas for 11th. Thomas from Scotland in turn 4 is P12, 0.1 ahead of Wanderer. Wanderer is 13th, 0.3 behind Thomas. Wanderer is now 12th. V. Armegu in turn 10 on lap 2 is 6th, 0.1 behind Eddie G. V. Armegu is now P5. Angfors in turn 11 is P10, 0.4 behind CJ. Wanderer in Andretti hairpin is P12, 0.2 behind Petrolhead. Angforce in turn 4 is P10, 0.5 behind CJ. Petrolhead in turn 5 is P11, 0.3 ahead of Wanderer. Wanderer from Germany in Rahal Strait is P12, 0.1 behind Petrolhead. Petrolhead in turn 10 on lap 3 is 11th, 0.3 behind Angforce. Wanderer on lap 3 is P12, 0.3 behind Petrolhead. Petrolhead in turn 3 is P11, 0.4 ahead of Wanderer. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Wanderer is 12th, 0.1 behind Petrolhead. Tracer in turn 6 is 13th, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Tracer was 1.2 faster last lap. Stephen Handley in turn 11 is 4th, 0.5 behind Tippy Boss. Petrolhead in turn 11 on lap 4 is P10, 0.4 behind Angforce. Wanderer is P11, 0.4 behind Petrolhead. Petrolhead is P10 on mediums, 0.4 ahead of Wanderer. Wanderer in turn 5 is P11 on mediums, 0.3 behind Petrolhead. Marcin N in the corkscrew is P6, 2.2 ahead of Eddie G. Marcin N was 1.4 faster last lap. Marcin N lost 8th to Angforce. Marcin N is now P12. Tracer on lap 5 is P10, 0.1 ahead of Petrolhead. Grazie Ragazzi is P12, 0.1 behind Marcin N. Grazie Ragazzi passed Marcin N for P11. Marcin N in Andretti hairpin on lap 6 is P12, 0.3 behind Grazie Ragazzi. Wanderer on lap 6 is 9th, 0.2 behind CJ. Wanderer is now 11th. Wanderer passed CJ for 11th. Tracer in the corkscrew on lap 6 is 8th, 1.3 ahead of Grazie Ragazzi. Grazie Ragazzi was 1.2 faster last lap. Marcin N is P10, 1.1 behind Grazie Ragazzi. Tracer in turn 3 is 8th, 0.4 behind Angforce. Armagu in the corkscrew is 5th, 2.6 behind Tippy Boss. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Alfie is second, 0.7 behind Rob Keane. Tracer is 8th, 0.5 behind Angforce. Alfie in the corkscrew is second. Best lap is a 1:21.807. 0.020 off the fastest lap. Rob Keane entering the pits is first. Rob Keane is second. Marcin N in Rahal Straight is 10th, 2.4 behind Grazie Ragazzi. Eddie G in turn 10 is P7 battling Angforce. Angforce was 1.0 faster last lap. Rob Keane exiting pits on mediums. Angforce entering the pits is 9th. Stephen Handley in turn 3 is P2. Grazie Ragazzi in Andretti hairpin is 8th. Best lap is a 1:23.485. 1.698 off the fastest lap. Angforce exiting pits on softs. Rob Keane in turn 6 is P4 on mediums. Best lap is a 1:21.787. Rob Keane passed Tippy Boss for P3. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 6 is 8th, 0.5 behind Eddie G. Thomas in turn 5 is P12 on mediums, 0.3 behind Angforce. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 11 is P8, 0.3 behind Eddie G. Wanderer entering the pits is P10. Grazie Ragazzi is now 6th. Eddie G is P10. Tippy Boss exiting pits on mediums. CJ exiting pits on softs. Eddie G passed Wanderer for P9. Thomas entering the pits is P12. Wanderer is 10th. Wanderer exiting pits on mediums. Wanderer lost 10th to Ang Force. Grazie Ragazzi is 6th, 2.1 ahead of Marcin N. Grazie Ragazzi lost P6 to Marcin N. Thomas exiting pits on softs. Tracer in the corkscrew is P5, 3.7 ahead of Marcin N. Tracer lost P5 to Marcin N. V Armagu is 4th. Grazie Ragazzi in rainy curve is 7th, 3.3 behind Tracer. Grazie Ragazzi lost P8 to Tippy Boss. Tracer entering the pits is 6th. V Armagu is P5. V Armagu exiting pits on softs. Grazie Ragazzi entering the pits is 9th. Eddie G entering the pits is 8th. Eddie G is 10th. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Stephen Handley in Rahal Straight is 2nd, 1.9 ahead of Rob Keane. Tracer exiting pits on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi is 10th. Grazie Ragazzi exiting pits on softs. Eddie G exiting pits on softs. Tracer is P9, 1.1 behind Wanderer. Wanderer was 27.8 faster last lap. Thomas in Rahal Straight is 12th on softs, 1.1 behind Eddie G. Rob Keane in turn 11 is 3rd, 0.8 behind Stephen Handley. Rob Keane passed Stephen Handley for P2. Thomas in Andretti hairpin is 11th battling Eddie G. Marcin N entering the pits is 4th. Marcin N is P4. Wanderer is P8, 1.7 ahead of Tracer. Marcin N is P7 on softs, 3.0 behind Ang Force. Alfie exiting pits on mediums. Marcin N exiting pits on softs. Alfie from Italy is first. Alfie exiting pits on mediums. Wanderer is 8th, 0.3 behind Marcin N. Marcin N in turn 6 is P8, 0.3 behind Wanderer. Wanderer was 24.6 faster last lap. Tracer in the corkscrew is 9th on mediums, 0.3 behind Marcin N. Rob Keen in Rahal Straight is 2nd on mediums, 0.3 behind Alfie. Tracer on lap 14 is 9th. Tracer passed Marcin N for P8. Marcin N in turn 3 is P9 battling Tracer. Rob Keen in Andretti hairpin is 2nd, 0.2 behind Alfie. Rob Keen was 3.4 faster last lap. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is 10th, 0.5 behind Marcin N. Grazie Ragazzi passed Marcin N for P9. Rob Keen in Rahal Straight is P2 on mediums, 0.3 behind Alfie. Stephen Handley in Rainy Curve is 3rd. Thomas is P12. Stephen Handley is 3rd on softs. Stephen Handley exiting pits on softs. V. Armagu in Andretti hairpin is 4th, 0.5 behind Stephen Handley. Grazie Ragazzi is 9th, 3.9 ahead of Marcin N. Grazie Ragazzi lost 9th to Marcin N. V. Armagu is 4th, 0.2 behind Stephen Handley. Rob Keen in turn 4 is 2nd. V. Armagu in Andretti hairpin is P4, 0.5 behind Stephen Handley. Alfie in turn 10 is second on mediums, 0.1 behind Rob Keane. Grazie Ragazzi is P10, 0.4 behind Marcin N. Armagu is P4, 1.2 behind Stephen Handley. Grazie Ragazzi in the corkscrew on lap 17 is P10, 0.2 behind Marcin N. CJ exiting pits on softs. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Grazie Ragazzi passed Marcin N for 9th. Thomas on lap 17 is 12th. CJ exiting pits on softs. Ang Force in the corkscrew is P6, 2.3 behind Tippy Boss. Rob Keane is P1 on mediums. Wanderer in turn 3 is 7th on mediums, 4.1 behind Ang Force. Eddie G in Andretti hairpin is 11th. CJ in turn 6 is P13 on softs. Tracer is P8. Wanderer in turn 6 is 7th. Best lap is a 1:24.101. 2.314 off the fastest lap. Wanderer passed Angforce for 6th. Angforce in turn 11 is P7, 1.4 behind Wanderer. Eddie G in the corkscrew is 11th. Alfie is P2. Eddie G is P11. Grazie ragazzi in Andretti hairpin is 9th. Angforce in Rahal Straight is 7th, 4.8 ahead of Tracer. The leader has just finished the race. Rob Keane finished P1. Tracer finished P8. Grazie ragazzi finished P9. Alfie finished 2nd. Marcin N finished P10. CJ finished 13th. Thomas finished P12. Stephen Handley finished P3. Eddie G finished P11. B. Armagu finished P4. Tippy Boss finished 5th. Wanderer finished P6. Ang Force finished P7. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 8 km/h from the west. CJ is P1. Thomas from Scotland is P2 on mediums. Eddie G from United States is third on softs. Marcin N is fourth on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P5 on softs. Tracer is sixth on mediums. Angfors from Sweden is P7 on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is P8 on mediums. Tippy Boss is ninth on softs. Armagu from Sweden is 10th on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is 11th on mediums. Alfie from Italy is P12 on mediums. Rob Keane from Wales is 13th on softs. CJ is P1 on hards. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Thomas in Andretti hairpin is P2. Alfie entering the pits is 13th. Marcin N in turn 3 is 3rd. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 4 km/h from the west. CJ is P1. Thomas from Scotland is second on mediums. Eddie G from United States is P3 on softs. Marcin N is P4 on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P5 on softs. Tracer is 6th on mediums. Angfors from Sweden is 7th on mediums. Wanderer from Germany is P8 on mediums. Tippy Boss is P9 on softs. Armagu from Sweden is P10 on softs. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is 11th on mediums. Alfie from Italy is 12th on mediums. Rob Keane from Wales is 13th on softs. CJ is first on mediums. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Thomas in Andretti hairpin is second. Marcin N is fourth. Eddie G in turn 5 is P6. The race session is at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, USA. The wind speed is 1 km/h from the west-southwest. Tippy Boss is P1. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom is P2 on mediums. CJ is third on mediums. Thomas from Scotland is fourth on mediums. Eddie G from United States is P5 on softs. Marcin N is P6 on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi from Norway is P7 on softs. Tracer is 8th on mediums. Angforce from Sweden is 9th on softs. Wanderer from Germany is P10 on mediums. Värmegu from Sweden is 11th on softs. Alfie from Italy is 12th on mediums. Rob Keane from Wales is P13 on softs. Tippy Boss is P1 on softs. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Stephen Handley is P11. Alfie in turn 3 is P10. Eddie G in turn 5 is 6th. Thomas entering the pits is 13th. Angforce is P10 on mediums. Angforce is now 7th. Tippy Boss entering the pits is P1. Eddie G in Rahal Straight is P11. Värmegu is P2. Alfie in Andretti hairpin is P4, 0.2 behind Wanderer. Alfie passed Wanderer for third. Tracer in turn 4 is 5th, 0.3 behind Wanderer. Rob Keane is P6, 0.5 behind Tracer. CJ exiting pits on hards. Ang Force in Rahal Straight is P8, 0.5 behind Stephen Handley. Alfie is P3, 0.2 behind VR Magu. Wanderer is P5, 0.2 behind Tracer. Tracer was 0.6 faster last lap. Alfie in turn 3 is second, 0.3 ahead of VR Magu. Alfie was 1.5 faster last lap. VR Magu is P3, 0.4 behind Alfie. Rob Keane in turn 6 is P5, 0.2 ahead of Wanderer. Rob Keane was 2.3 faster last lap. Marcin N in Rainy Curve is P3. Best lap is a 125.046. 1.828 off the fastest lap. Rob Keane in turn 10 is 6th. Ang Force from Sweden is P7, 0.2 behind Rob Keane. "25 minutes remaining in the session. Marcin N in turn 5 on lap 4 is third, 0.9 behind VR Magu. Grazie Ragazzi is 9th. Rob Keane is 6th on softs, 1.3 behind Stephen Handley. Alfie in Rahal Straight is first, 2.9 ahead of VR Magu. Alfie was 1.0 faster last lap. Rob Keane in Rahal Straight is 6th, 0.3 behind Stephen Handley. Stephen Handley is 5th, 0.6 ahead of Rob Keane. Rob Keane on lap 6 is 6th, 0.4 behind Stephen Handley. Stephen Handley is 6th. Stephen Handley passed Rob Keane for 5th. Rob Keane in Rahal Straight is 6th, 0.3 behind Stephen Handley. Stephen Handley in turn 11 is 5th, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Stephen Handley lost P5 to Rob Keane. Rob Keane in turn 3 on lap 7 is 5th, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Wanderer in turn 5 is P5, 0.2 behind Rob Keane. Armagu is 2nd. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Tracer in turn 10 is P8. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 11 is P9, 0.4 behind Tracer. Grazie Ragazzi was 1.5 faster last lap. Rob Keane in turn 6 is 4th on softs, 0.8 behind Marcin N. Grazie Ragazzi is 9th, 0.5 behind Tracer. Grazie Ragazzi was 8.7 faster last lap. Grazie Ragazzi passed Tracer for P8. Tracer in the corkscrew is 9th. Best lap is a 1:24.903. 3.156 off the fastest lap. Stephen Handley in Andretti hairpin is P6, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Tracer in Andretti hairpin is P9, 0.4 behind Grazie Ragazzi. Stephen Handley in turn 6 is 6th, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Wanderer in the corkscrew is 6th, 1.6 ahead of Angforce. Wanderer lost P6 to Angforce. Rob Keane is P4, 1.0 ahead of Stephen Handley. Wanderer entering the pits is P7. Alfie is first. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 11 is P9. Rob Keane exiting pits on mediums. Wanderer exiting pits on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi passed Wanderer for 8th. Marcin N is 3rd. Best lap is a 1:24.501. 2.754 off the fastest lap. Marcin N lost P4 to Angforce. Eddie G entering the pits is 10th. Alfie in Andretti hairpin is 1st. Eddie G exiting pits on softs. Rob Keane is 7th on mediums, 1.3 behind Tracer. "15 minutes remaining in the session. Grazie Ragazzi in turn 4 is P8, 3.2 ahead of Wanderer. Grazie Ragazzi was 5.1 faster last lap. Tracer in turn 6 is 7th, 0.5 behind Rob Keane. Tracer was 2.0 faster last lap. VR Magu on lap 11 is P2. VR Magu exiting pits on softs. Tracer entering the pits is 7th. Tracer is P7. Stephen Handley exiting pits on mediums. VR Magu is 3rd. Grazie Ragazzi entering the pits is P9. Marcin N exiting pits on mediums. Grazie Ragazzi is 9th. Alfie from Italy is P1. Tracer exiting pits on mediums. Tracer in turn 4 is 8th. Best lap is a 1:24.902. 3.155 off the fastest lap. Eddie G is 11th. Eddie G is now P10. Alfie in turn 11 is first. Ang Force is P2. Ang Force entering the pits is second. V. Armagu from Sweden is third, 1.9 ahead of Rob Keane. V. Armagu is now P2. Ang Force is 5th, 1.8 behind Stephen Handley. Ang Force exiting pits on mediums. Alfie is P1 on mediums. Rob Keane in turn 6 is third, 2.1 behind V. Armagu. Ang Force is 6th, 0.1 behind Wanderer. Alfie exiting pits on softs. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Tracer in Rahal Straight is 8th. Rob Keane in turn 5 is third, 1.2 behind V. Armagu. Stephen Handley in turn 6 is P4. Eddie G in the corkscrew is P10. CJ entering the pits is 7th. Rob Keane from Wales in turn 5 is P3, 0.7 behind V. Armagu. Tracer is 8th on mediums. Marcin N is P7. Ang Force is 6th, 3.1 behind Wanderer. Stephen Handley in the Corkscrew is P4. Rob Keane in turn 3 is P3, 0.9 behind V Armagu. Rob Keane was 2.0 faster last lap. Five minutes remaining in the session. Marcin N in Andretti hairpin is 7th. Rob Keane in Rainy Curve is P3 on mediums, 0.5 behind V Armagu. Wanderer from Germany in turn 10 is P5, 2.4 ahead of Ang Force. Rob Keane in turn 4 on lap 19 is 3rd, 0.2 behind V Armagu. Stephen Handley from United Kingdom in turn 5 is 4th. Rob Keane in turn 10 is P3, 0.2 behind V Armagu. Rob Keane was 1.1 faster last lap. Stephen Handley is 5th, 0.1 behind Wanderer. Rob Keane is P3, 0.1 behind V Armagu. Rob Keane passed V Armagu for P2. VR Magu on lap 20 is P3, 0.4 behind Rob Keane. Rob Keane in turn 6 is third. Best lap is a 121.167. Ang Force in turn 5 is P6, 0.4 behind Stephen Handley. Stephen Handley in Rahal Straight on lap 20 is P6, 0.7 behind Ang Force. VR Magu in turn 3 is third, 1.0 behind Rob Keane. Rob Keane was 0.7 faster last lap. Ang Force in turn 4 is 5th, 0.8 behind Wanderer. Rob Keane in the Corkscrew is third on mediums, 4.4 behind VR Magu. Ang Force in the Corkscrew is P5, 0.5 behind Wanderer. Eddie G on lap 20 is 9th. Ang Force from Sweden is P5, 0.6 behind Wanderer. VR Magu is P2. Ang Force in turn 11 is 5th on mediums, 0.5 behind Wanderer. The leader has just finished the race. Alfie finished P1. Eddie G finished 9th. B. Armagu finished P2. Rob Keane finished P3. Wanderer finished P4. Ang Force finished P5. Stephen Handley finished 6th. Marcin N finished 7th. Tracer finished P8.